Hey there, Dale the librarian here. So you want to find an ebook, do you? Well, let me show you how you do that. One first thing that you need to know is if you are off campus, you need to log in with the off-campus access because a lot of these ebooks are licensed only to students, staff, and faculty of the University of Utah. There's a bunch of tabs here, right? We want the USearch tab. Any of the keywords that you type in, we're going to be looking typically at the metadata. It's not necessarily going to be a full text search of a book or an ebook rather. So I'm just going to do culture and ethnicity. That's going to be my keywords. You'll note that my "and" is in capital letters. That's so it defines for the database that I want to look for culture first. After I get those books with culture in them, I want to find things that have ethnicity in that subset. That's all that that's about. If you type in a lowercase, it'll look for the word "and." When you're in the search results, there's a bunch of things down the left-hand side that we call facets. The facets have things like books. So under resource type, we want to go to books. There's a bunch of other things to look at too. Cruise around, it's fun to see. Then there's available in the library. These are things like physical books that you would see. We want full text online for ebooks. And isn't it interesting how many more ebooks there are than we have print books? The world is changing, isn't it? When you go through this list, you're still going to have thousands of books, so I would suggest adding more keywords to it. There's also ways of narrowing it down by going into subject. You can see if you wanted to add a keyword to a particular cultural identity, that would work. But you can see some of these are generic books looking at things like that. One of my favorite things to do is go in the date range. We don't want something from way back in the 1700s, so you can narrow your book list down to things that have happened in more recent years. And then another one that I often do is I'll go by date newest. So there's a bunch of ways of narrowing it down. Adding specificity to your keyword search really helps. Let me take a quick look into one of the books just to show you what it's going to look like. There's different ebook vendors, so your results may vary, but generically this is what it's going to be. What I would recommend that you look for when you find an ebook interface like this is before you go straight into the read online, look for a table of contents. Sometimes the table of contents will be a link that you have to click on, or sometimes it'll be just right out here. The reason that you do that is because it's easier to narrow it down for what you're looking for instead of having to browse through the whole book. You can go into specificity. And then when you're looking at the table of contents, it's easy to see if there's something there that's going to work for you or not. When you go in, I'll go into the introduction to this book. Again, there's a variety of interfaces, but a lot of these are full text searchable. So if you're looking for an opinion or an interview or a specific piece of jargon or vocabulary, this is a great way to do it once you get into the ebook. And that's how you get into an ebook.